When I was a teenager, I noticed one summer, early 80s, that this place was crazy and it didn't make any sense to me. And so I went on a journey to try to figure out my place within it. Um, and then I got distracted, shiny baubles, got a car, got jobs, met girls, and kind of got away from it. And then all that changed again in my late 20s, and I went back to trying to see where I fit, what this place was about for me, and on and on and on. And so I've been watching it pretty closely. And then, I don't know, several years ago, when Mandela Effect was pointed out to me, it really piqued something in me to, pay attention to this. And I never really made judgments on it for a long time. I'd follow the changes and be mind boggled just like most people. And I didn't really try to come up with an explanation. And then for the past year or so, I've been noticing differences in the Mandela Effect community. And some people are stuck in just the next change and the next change, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's other people that are delving a little deeper, and maybe watching some of those videos clicked something for me. So if watching Quantum of Conscious clicked this for me, then yay. Or Rachel Renstra or J. Chris in the 444. Something is different now. So I imagine that, let's say the Bible's correct, and the first part of the Bible tells the entire story, where in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So to me, what that means is I can name everything in this reality, and I use the Word to name everything in this reality. So let's say, what if? This is all what if, so believe me, I don't think I got my finger on the pulse, but this is interesting, so I wanted to share it. Um, what if everything in this reality literally is Creator God? And Creator God can change anything in this reality. So that Chick-fil-A sign that used to be a C and now it's a K and now it's, you know, whatever it is. Let's say God changed that. And from my perspective, it would be to get our attention. Pay attention, there's something going on here. And then it's up to us to kind of, make sense of that. So I went through that whole thought process. And then I had a vision of what this reality really is. And I say vision is in my mind. I didn't go on a Hopi, Lakota vision quest or whatever, but beside the point. Let's say God made this reality in its entirety, and God came to us and said, "Come take a look at this. I want you to see something I created." And you're maybe a friend of God, maybe you're another creation of God, I don't know. But said, "Come take a look. I want to show you this thing." And so you're looking at it, and maybe it is a snow globe from your perspective out there. Maybe it is a universe in and of itself, ever expanding. Not the point, but God says, "This is really cool. Take a look." So you look at it, and you have no concept of it. You don't understand it in any way whatsoever. But it's beautiful, and it's mesmerizing, and it's moving, and there's things going on, and you can see energetic ripples, and you can see energetic exchanges between beings going everywhere at all times, and it is just beyond. It's just beyond anything you could ever imagine. And you're like, "Wow, that's really amazing, God. How'd you? What is this?" He's like, "Well, it's kind of hard to explain. It's completely different than where you're at right now. Completely different. You won't understand it, but I'll tell you anyway." And God says, "Okay, so there's three big things about this place. One, if a being is in there, it's going to experience the place with things I call five senses." And forgive me for paraphrasing God. I'm trying to make a point here, trying to explain something here, and language is so limited. You guys understand that. So, anyway, you've got five senses that are going to interpret this reality. You can see things, you can hear things, you can taste things, you can touch things, and you can feel things. And you're a being that has never experienced that, so you don't know what that means. And you said, "Okay." And God goes on and says, "And for every time you do something in there, something's going to happen. We'll call it choice consequence. And I can't tell you what those consequences are necessarily because there's so many other things going on at the same time. And so you're scratching your head, but you're still looking at it and thinking it's just the most amazing thing you ever saw. And I didn't see, but you know what I mean. So then God says, here's the third thing. When you're in there and something happens, you're going to have an emotional reaction to it. And the being has never had an emotional reaction to anything, doesn't even know what any of that stuff is. And God says, and to complicate this, just for fun, I put you with other people that are going to call you family. And you're all going to go through this together. And none of you are going to know what's going on, but it's going to be really great. And so you're getting a little scared at this point. You're like, holy cow, that just seems like overwhelming. And God says, but if you can remember who you are before you go in there, it's going to be really easy. You're going to get it. You're going to understand it in an instant, and it's going to be, you'll really thank me for it. And you say, okay. And so God says, you want to try it? And you're like, no way, that I can't even. But other beings try it. And so they come into this reality, and you think of an infant, the first couple years, they're just absorbing this place. They don't talk, they don't move yet, they haven't figured out their muscles. They're just kind of, they're there, and they look around, and they smell their mom, and they grab onto her, and they love on her, and they're fed by her. And so then that being starts interacting with its family, and so on and so on, and more creatures come in. And maybe, everybody's got the choice to do the best or do the worst, because it's something God created for us to basically experience. And so then one of the beings says, before they go in, they say, well, God, what's it really like? Come on, we're old pals, you can tell me. And God's like, you know what? I don't really know. I've never been in there. I have a concept of what it's going to be like, but I haven't experienced it. And the being's looking at it, and it's like, man, it looks pretty awful. Look what they're doing to each other. And look what they're doing to those other things that you put in there. It doesn't seem that right. So maybe God said, okay, well, you know what? I'll go take a look. I'll go check this out. And God came into this little realm. And if you're a Bible-believing Christian, you know how that worked out. And if you're not a Bible-believing Christian, you know the Jesus story anyway, so it's possible. And that was just a side thought I had. But the important thing for me, after seeing this way, is that when these Mandela effects happen, I think more people take a look and say, wait a minute, am I forgetting something? And I've watched a lot of people who watch a lot of Mandela videos really elevate their experience and awareness of this in ways that are beyond the barbaric human that we see out there, and are beyond the political left-right, and they're beyond the money system, they're beyond the religious systems, and they're trying to communicate to other people, hey, don't you remember? God said this is a thing He made. And we came in here because we wanted to see what it was like. But we don't have to do it that way. We can do it this way. Maybe that's it. I don't know. This is the much longer video than I've ever made. If you're here with me to the end, I appreciate it. I'm not going to put up a lot of graphics because it just, on a 10-minute video and a 5-second clip on Windows 7, it takes me like 4 hours. And I think people are probably only going to watch till about 30 seconds in. So I do appreciate your time. If you stayed with this, let me know. The code word of the day is full moon. If you type full moon in the comments, I will know you watched the whole thing. And if you don't take it personal. I don't care. It's just something I had to get out. All right, guys. Take care.